Today I'm going to show you a cool technique that I've been using a lot to make better beats faster, and I'm going to use the trap pop genre to explore this, but it could apply to many popular genres. If you're new here, welcome along. My name is Kobe McCool. It's great to have you here, and if you're a returning subscriber, you're the best. I hope you find this video valuable, and if you do, you know what to do. Alright, let's dive into it. I don't really have a name for this technique. I guess you could call it layer switching, but you can really call it whatever you want. I have 3 different beats to show you. Here's how the technique works. You find the consistent layers that are within whatever genre you're making. So for this one, it's trap pop. You build your first beat with a strong drum beat that you're happy with and the fundamental layers that you think work well within that genre. You're not too worried about the chord progression or how good the overall first beat is. You're just getting that beat together, making sure that the elements of that beat work really well with that genre. Then you print out that drum beat and you recreate new beats with the same layers but completely different chord progression, different melodies, and you can even adjust the tempo. What you'll see is you can actually end up with a decent number of different beats that came from the same origins. They're baked with the same ingredients, but the type of cake that you end up with at the end is completely different. So you're making a trap pop chocolate cake or a trap pop strawberry cake. Strawberry cake?
I don't know why I was questioning strawberry cake, because it's definitely a thing and they all look delicious.
Trap pop lemon cake or whatever. The cake analogy only goes so far. Now, obviously the key thing here is that the fundamental ingredients need to be good. That's what you do in your sound hunting, sound design sessions. For trap pop, the fundamental sounds are drums, 808s very often in the bass or some sort of respace, guitar, some sort of keys and ambience. All the while trying to keep everything pretty minimalistic and simple, but as catchy as you can. Started off at a tempo of 150. I've actually just gone for relatively generic drum sounds, layered up that snare, added a separate one for some accents, hats. Now, a cool technique that I discovered recently on one of Simon Servida's videos, that's difficult to say over and over.
I said, maybe. Perhaps.
This gross beat technique with hats where you just layer down hats, one each 2 steps, go on to the time option and just make them stutter in whichever way you would like, and then you can automate that up and down so that it stutters in the bits you want it to. Now, I've chosen stutter 8, but you could choose, which is a little bit nuts, but it actually works pretty well. Actually, I kind of prefer that. That pulse is actually nicer than the original one I went for. So yeah, that's a really handy technique. It's really fast too. Then just some foley, some shakers, just to add a bit more emphasis at the start of each beat or phrase. And then the clock tick. The clock tick works really well around that 140 to 160 tempo. So then you've got your drum loop and you just export that. The next staple within all of this would be your 808. I wanted to experiment with a little bit more of a smooth, vibey trap pop. So the 808, I wanted to be warm and smooth, and then I just added a subtle bit of distortion to it. Then just added some smooth guitar chords. When putting those together, I tried to get a really nice tone, and I separated them out when I played them to try and make sure that the expression when I played them was as good as I can. Then within the synths, I've gone for 3 sounds. This big atmosphere. Then I have a Rhodes sound from Omnisphere. Just trying to keep all of them really silky, nice, high quality, but not too busy. A mandolin. But I decided in the end it wasn't needed in this particular beat. But that was one of the other layers that I was going to allow myself to use. Putting restrictions on yourself and saying I'm only using these sounds, it means that you don't have to start from scratch every time you're making a new beat. Piecing all of those things together. thought, okay, that's not too bad. I'm quite happy with that. It wasn't amazing. I didn't think, oh yeah, that's the best trap pop beat I've ever made. But I also thought, yeah, that's actually quite a vibe. Now that you've got all of those layers together, this is where the fun really starts. I then exported that track and just thought, okay, what happens if I pitch it down and slow it down? I would say that track suits that tempo and that speed much more. It just feels much silkier, much smoother. You're just trying to piece together the most satisfying or inspiring sound to then put a vocal on top of. In beat 2, using the same layers, but just using different chord progression. That felt a little bit more mysterious and smooth just by changing out that chord progression, but nothing about the original sounds had changed. Over here, I could then play around with chopping it up. I've now got another style which feels very different. I pitched it down as well and then took that intro here and just used it to create some sample chops. Just have fun with it, see where it takes me, and it happens much quicker because I didn't have to start from scratch again. Then on to beat 3. I wanted the mandolin to be the main focus in this one, so I thought, okay, I'm just going to experiment with just playing that and try and get a loop that I really like before I add anything else into it. And I thought, oh, well, actually, that's cool. I really like the more upbeat energy I'm getting from that. So recorded that in, put it with the drums, and instantly I was like, oh, okay, now we're really going somewhere. And what was really cool is that actually some of the layers that I had used in that previous beat and the chord progression tied in pretty well with this one. So although they sound very different, this one sounds more minor and sad. I just took these sounds that I'd reversed into themselves, literally pasted that into this beat, and like I said, they have a completely different energy overall and they feel like they're saying something different, but still they actually blend really well together. And like, I love the energy that's coming out of both of them, but they are different. And funnily enough, the 808 pattern, I just copied across and dropped that in as well. I didn't even change that. So there you go, I've got 3 different beats that all have a different energy, different vibe overall, but are in the same genre and with more or less the same sounds. And now, if I really want to make them unique, I can just change out some of the sounds and just keep adapting it until you almost can't tell that they came from the same ingredients originally and within the same session. The next cool thing that you can do with them is experiment with other vocals that you've used. So I have other vocals from songs that have a similar style, similar tempo, and similar chord progression. I dragged in the vocal from the track Perfect Storm that I've showed in other videos.
Fear rising up, wait a minute, hesitate. Oh, nah, fuck it, do it anyway.
That's the original vocal. In order to make it fit, I pitched the original one down 2, but I also still needed to pitch this vocal up 1 because they were 3 semitones apart.
Rising up, wait a minute, hesitate. Oh, nah, fuck it, do it anyway. Anyway.
Really fun to play around with, and it lets you know whether the beat is working or not, or what kind of vocal it would suit. That's just with my vocal, but you could perhaps find the stems from other trap pop artists and put them alongside the beat and see whether it works. I then took the other song I have in this similar style, which is Digital Love.
On my own, got it disconnected. Only I know what's best, and it's It's not love and a peace.
It gives you an idea of what the energy is like, what you could perhaps write that song about. So I've then pieced it together with this original beat idea, which I would say is a lot more slow and melancholy than the first one, which just feels a little bit more cheery and upbeat. This is what it sounds like.
Move so fast, even more when I'm caught not looking. Stuck in distraction, what am I doing? I don't wanna be here, so you know I'm gonna leave. Better off true outcast on my own, call it this.
And like I say, it's just for experimentation. I'm just messing around, having some fun, but it's actually really cool, the different styles and energies that you can get out of the same ingredients. There we go, 3 different beats, 3 potential songs, 3 trap pop vibes. So you can tailor this technique to you in whatever way works. You don't have to create each of the loops yourself. You could find a guitar loop that you like and experiment with it, build a beat around it, use some other samples, and then remove that guitar sample and add in your own one. Very often I'll start off with a certain sample, I'll come up with a couple of other elements, and then I'll remove the original sample altogether and just go in a different direction with it because I like the drum beat that I came up with. So there are, of course, no rules with all of this. I really hope you found this video valuable and helpful, and if you did, you know what to do. Come hang out with us in the Discord or send me a message on Instagram. I'd love to hear from you. I really look forward to sharing the next video with you, and until then, of course, believe in yourself and you will be unstoppable. Bye.